Men, discipline or motivation? Which is more important? In anything that you go for in life, whatever dreams, goals, or desires that you have, discipline is more important than motivation. That's the short answer. Why is that? Because motivation is a fickle beast. Motivation can come, motivation can go. For example, at the start, when you're planning something and you're getting all these ideas about what to do with your life or your career or even in your relationships, at the start when you have something in mind and you get a little excited about it, the motivation's easy then. But what about when you start hitting the wall? What about when all those voices start telling you should stop or quit or relax? What about when you encounter some serious plateaus? What about if you're training for an event and it's cold, miserable and wet outside, but your bed is so nice and warm? Where's the motivation going to be then? It's going to make itself scarce. However, what you can rely on is discipline, because discipline will get you out of bed. Discipline will get you making those sales calls. Discipline will get you towards moving in the direction that you want to move into, even when you don't feel like it. Now, the question is, how do you develop this type of discipline? Well, I'm glad you asked, because today I'm going to give you 4 steps toward creating discipline that will build motivation to keep you on the right track. The first is having a strong enough why. Knowing exactly what you want is very important when you're wanting to build discipline or you're wanting to achieve anything. But really wanting it. Not just kind of wanting it or sort of wanting it. If you're that type of person, if you're just doing something because you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, or you think it's a good idea but you're not really sure, more than likely you're going to quit, and you'll quit quick. Most people do. However, if you have something that you really want and you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to lose sleep, your sanity, you're willing to not eat, you're willing to go harder in order to achieve it, then discipline won't be a problem for you. It'll be easy for you. However, if you're kind of wishy-washy about it, it's never going to happen, or more than likely it won't. So, having a strong enough reason for doing what you're doing is extremely important. Step number 2 is to have a strategy or a plan in place, and working backwards from your objective is a really good strategy to have when you're building a strategy. What do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, you have a tournament coming up in 4 months. You need to train for it starting from today. What I've found is really beneficial in building long day. Building the discipline and motivation necessary to perform and execute at the highest level is to start from the particular day that you need to perform and work backwards, so that you're building a strategy that will help you get through the tough times rather than just planning from the start. Because if you plan from the start, it's more than likely that you'll focus more on the start, but the end won't be taken care of as well as a plan that has reverse engineering in mind. So start from the particular time of the event or contest or presentation or whatever it is, and work backwards from there. Now, having a strategy in place is important. Some people would just say, well, I don't really work well with strategies. I don't work well with action plans. You just wing it. Well, for those people, fair enough. But for a lot of people, if you don't have a plan in place, you're just running blind. And when you encounter some serious setbacks, and you will, and you don't have a plan in place, something to fall back on, you won't have the drive to keep going. You just say it's too hard and you'll quit. And you don't want that. So it's important to have a plan in place. The third step to building the discipline necessary for increased motivation and strong motivation is to start small. So many people go big. They dream big, and dreaming big is good, and they go big, but the problem is when you do that, in a lot of cases, people go too far. Ambition is a great thing, but there's a fine line between going hard and going insane. And for most people, case in point is New Year's resolutions. They've never worked out either they've never worked out or they haven't worked out in a long time, and they want to lose 50 pounds in 2 months. It's just too much for them. So start small, because when you achieve those small incremental goals, you'll feel better about yourself, you'll feel more positive, you'll feel more successful, and you'll build the discipline necessary to continue towards your greater goals. So think big, start small. And the last thing to do, which is more, the last step number 4, which is more of a personal thing, I guess, but I like to share this with my audience, is to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Now, when I say everybody else, I'm talking about the average person. What does an average person look like? An average person does the 9-to-5 job. An average person has an average body. Just a box of a body. They spend their free time watching screens, television, computers, or smartphones. And they complain about their lives rather than doing anything about that. So if you want to be better than average, do the opposite when everybody else is doing. And when you start achieving the things that most people won't do, you will build the discipline. The discipline won't be hard because you're getting better, faster, stronger, smarter. And it doesn't take much. All you need to do is just a little bit more than the average person, and you'll achieve great results. Read 10 pages of a non-fiction book every day. Not 10 books. That goes back to the previous point about going too big. Exercising for 30 minutes every day. Doing 1 extra sales call a day. Just doing a little bit more. 1% more. 2% more. And doing that on a consistent basis, just those small extra steps, will build the discipline necessary to increase your motivation to continue on to bigger and greater things. So, gentlemen, those are my 4 steps towards building the discipline necessary to create the motivation to continue to get consistent, successful results in your life. Now, if you find discipline and motivation a little too difficult to do on your own, then consider signing up for my Mentor coaching program. The link is in the description. I'll work one-on-one with you and help you become the man that you always wanted to be, the best version of yourself. Thank you for watching. If you find this message of any value, please share it with any other man who might need it. Until next time, gentlemen, get out there, get amongst it, and become the best version of yourself. Man credible. See you next time.